Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Witty's Gear Reviews. First I want to say the thing we're going to review today was sent to me by a company, and disclaimer, they did send it to me. I did not pay for it, but just like all the things, I'm going to do an honest review, tell y'all what I know, what I think, and we'll go from there. So the company that sent me something today was Wuben, which this is a Wuben X4, which they're calling their everyday carry light. And we're going to kind of go into this thing with a little detail. I've already taken it out of the box, guys. We're not going to do an unboxing. I'll show you what comes in here, simply because I've already, I wanted to charge it and make sure it was 100% charged before I did the video. And, of course, I wanted to play with it a little bit to make sure that, we kind of knew what was going on with some of the stuff on there. Okay, so let's jump into the Wuben X4. They're calling this their easy carry light. It has a max output of 1500 lumens, 205 meter throw, and it says 720, I guess that's hours max illumination, but we'll get into that more. And then some specifics on the back. Now, first thing I want to do when we look at this light, right, is just kind of take a look at everything as a whole before we jump into it. Just kind of give everybody a good chance to look at the actual features, the color of the light. Now, a lot of people think that this light's too big. Now, it depends. If you look at its little sister here, you're looking at the Wuben G5. Yeah, it's bigger than that. And it's thicker than that. But this is a super compact, tiny light. Now, if you were to compare this against other flashlights, it wouldn't be so big. If you saw the video we did not too long ago, and there is a full video on this, shorter than that, and a little bit thicker, but not much. Now, in reference to, let's say, something you carry all the time, let's look at a key fob. So if you look at a key fob, there's not a lot of difference. A lot of y'all carry that in your pocket, or in my case, a lot of times I carry it on a titanium dangler, which I can just dangle that off of my pocket, into my pocket, or however I chose to carry it, right? So it's not a lot bigger than that. And if you looked at it as far as measurements, you're looking at 4 3/4 inches. And we'll go to the thickest point here. Looking at about 1 3/8 thick, or wide. And then the thickness, say we'll take it all the way out to the belt clip, 1 inch. And those are just rough numbers. I mean, give or take a little bit, right? But there is a lot of ingenuity shoved into this light. For one, if you look on this side, right, this is where you're going to have your functions. So if you go all the way there, that's your lock mode. That's going to be your side light mode, forward light mode, and then basically your charging mode. We're going to go ahead and go to the forward light, and we'll get into some of those features. You're going to have your pocket clip on the back. It is a good stout pocket clip, not completely deep carry. You can't change in any other way. If you're going to put it in your pocket, it's basically going to face with the lights facing up in that fashion right there. And you're going to have probably about 1/2 inch of the light sticking out of your pocket. It does have a magnetic base, which the magnets have improved a lot on these lights. Most lights like this cannot hold their own weight up at this angle. Now, I'm not going to say I jiggled it a little bit. I'm not going to say that it ain't going to fall off. But most lights will not hold, this size won't hold their own weight with their magnet. This is more designed to stick up like this. But you can see it's not going to fall off easily. But it will fall off if you shake it. It's made to put on a car or something like that, so you can actually shine down into a motor compartment. Anything like that. It's not made to like put on the side of a car and drive down the road. You will lose your light. It just gives you an option, just a magnetic base, a lot like most other knives or most other lights out there. Now, you'll see one thing about the Wuben lights is you have that scroll wheel, which we'll get into that. If you're not familiar with any of the Wuben products, a lot of their lights that have multi-functions have some sort of scroll wheel to get through your functions. But you have a power button here, and then you have some unique features on this light that we'll get into. And if you look here, right now you're in the lock position. This is just your battery access. Push that up. Pop that forward, and that is your 18650 battery. And that's why this case is the size that it is, because of the size of the battery. I mean, you could look. This is mainly battery, right? If you look at that, battery takes up, I would say, 90% of this light is housed around that large battery. Guys, there's a lot of light companies out there that can put out tiny little lights, but you've got to look at their battery. It may be a tiny light, super slim, and you're like, man, it's slim, perfect pocket carry. And you turn the thing on high and it gives you about an hour, right? That may not be bad for some. But if I'm going to use a light to find my way out of, out of the area, sometimes an hour isn't going to get the job done. Yeah, you could put it on moonlight mode and run around out there for, 8 hours and could barely illuminate the ground in front of you because you're only looking at about 5 lumens in that setting on most lights. Some are even 2 lumens, which is even worse, but good enough to find, like, if you're trying to put a key in a door, yeah, 5 lumens is plenty good enough for that. But sometimes, you got to make sure you have a battery that's going to give you as much light as long as you can. If we just looked at the box on this thing, just to get into some specifics on the light, you're looking at this light ranges from 5 lumens to 1500 lumens. You're looking at 1500 lumens for 3 hours with that size battery. You're looking at 5 lumens for 285 hours. Just as a reference. If you were to use any of the side lights, if you were using the 100 lumen side white light, you're looking at about 8 hours. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 8 hours. If you're using the 10 lumen RGB lights, you're looking at about 70 hours. So just some specifics on how long the light will last, because I think it's important for people to know before they buy one how much light they have. This is twin beam, which will give you flood and spot. And it has 4 pretty powerful LED lights that's in that housing that's going to give you your turbo mode, your low, and then we'll jump into the side lights, which you have 6 4000K warm white LEDs in there, and then we'll jump into the RGBs that have 7 colors. This is a USB-C fast charging. I think it's from dead all the way 100% charged. You're looking at 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So what you get in the box is you get your instructions, USB-C cable, and then you get a lanyard. All right, let's jump into some of the features. Let's go ahead and put it on the front light. It shows you your power, blue being it's fully charged. So this light has memory. You can see there. Now that I'm on one mode, you just go through here, and that's how you can get, once you see it flash like that, that means that it's at the max, and you can watch it. I'm just scrolling. And then you'll see it flash again, and you're in low mode. If I was to turn it off there and turn it back on, it's going to come back in that same mode setting. If I want to get to high mode, turn it off, it's going to come back on in high mode. So if you want it to come on in super low mode, just toggle your wheel. It's going to flash one time, you're in low mode. Shut it off, comes back on, you're in low. So that's how you're going to get the 3 to 1500 lumens. We're going to turn it on again. We're going to double click. And that's going to get you your turbo mode. Single click, get you out. Right? Press it again. You're in high mode. Then you can turn it down from there to your low mode, shut it off, and then it should come back on that mode. So it does have memory. Now, that's the only thing you're controlling in this configuration is your front light. If you want to do anything with your RGB or soft white lights on the side, you're going to click to that mode and now press the button. And now you've got your side lights coming on. And if you scroll through here, you can scroll through your colors. I like to keep it on red, so I'll turn it off on red. When we turn it back on, it comes back on red. So if you utilize red or green for night vision, just keep it to what you want. All right, so when you're in this mode, keep in mind that it's going to have memory on this mode as well. Like we were talking about with the red, if you want to go over to the white light, you're going to turn it on. We're on red right now. A long press flips you over to the 100 lumens soft white light on the side. And that's 100 lumens. And then you could scroll this back all the way down to its lightest mode, which is like a real faint, easy, like a tent mode or something like that. As you can tell in the camera, it's not blinding you. Or we can go all the way up to that bright, super bright mode, which it'll blink there. That's where you're at. Keep in mind, if I shut it off there and we turn it back on, it's going to give me that same thing back. So you want to scroll it back to the lowest mode, and then you can adjust from there, or medium mode, wherever you want it. If I shut it off, it's coming right back onto that mode. Now, if I long press, I'm going to go over to my red light. Same thing with the red light. If I turn it off there, next time I pick the light up, flip it over to side mode, right? Press the button, the red's going to come on, because that's what setting I had it on last. Long press, I can get to the white. And then, of course, wheel through there, intensifies your white light. So that's, in my experience with these types of lights, any light that you have to really, really study to remember how it works, because if you don't remember a lot of the things, you may never get the full function. It's kind of like a computer or anything like that. You have to study the light to understand all your features. Or if you're simple and you just want a light on the front Well, you got to swap it to the right mode. If you just want a light on the front, boom, you have it. Then you can scroll through here for your brightness levels and turn it off. And then if you just want a red light, then you just move to your side level, hold, then turn it off. And say you're in a situation where, you know, you don't want people to see you, but you still want to have your light for illumination. You don't want anybody to see you, but you would still want to see it, you know, be able to read or whatever at night. You just click that on, you've got your red light, you can do that. Say, for instance, a lot of times when I'm in my deer stand and I need to look at my phone or look at something and I don't want to illuminate my entire hub blind, I'll use a red light. So I can just click this on, I can do what I need to do, and then turn that off. But if I needed to get out of my deer blind in the evening and walk through the woods, then I could swap it over in the modes, turn on my front light, and I could do that. Now, one of the key features of this light that I really like is what they call the tactical mode. And it's all used by this tail switch on the back. Now, this gets you your bright light, and it just stays on as long as you're holding it. So press. Now you've got that quick access. I'm not doing nothing, not going through any of the wheels. It's always going to come on this level. Boom, I've got a light. Now, if I want to be more tactical and get into my strobe, double click it. Boom, your strobe's there. Single click, you're out. Hold, you got this light, double click, you've got your strobe, and you can let go. You're in strobe mode. One click, you're out. A lot of features packed into this light. It is a good light. It is fairly lightweight for its size, but there's a lot jam-packed into this light. If you want a light that does a little bit about, you know, a little bit of everything, this is probably your light. If you're one of those kind of people that like simple functions, I just want a light that is bright when I need it to be bright, dim when I need it to be dim, super easy user interface, and an option to be able to one-click a red light somewhere. This could be for you if you use the tail switch, right? Click that on. You've got your bright light whenever you need it. You don't have to mess with anything. And throw this sucker over in this mode and keep it there. And boom, press a button. You have your red light by one click. So it's as simple as you want it to be, but it has more functions. If all you need is a bright light when you need it and you want an option of a red light, we're not going to do anything to the light. We've got it set up in side mode. All we're going to do is press this button. Now you've got your red light. Turn your red light off. And now if I want my full light, just press the back. Full light, double click, and you're in strobe mode. That's what you're going to get with this light if you want to use the basic features. But it has all the others for, you know, the people out there that want to use all the different things. It's got strobe mode, all that. If you're into that, this light has all those features. But solid light, well made, guys. Big battery is going to give you some longevity as far as the amount of lumens you're going to have for the amount of time you're going to have them. They've drop tested these things at, I believe it's a, let's see, I don't want to lie to you. I want to make sure I wrote that down right. Yeah, 1 meter. So they're drop tested at 1 meter. It's IP68 waterproof level. There's just a lot of function with this light, guys. I don't go into a lot of the RGBs because a lot of people here that I've noticed are like, man, no use for them. There is a your flashing mode, right? I know that's important to some people. And then back to your standard mode. And like I said, you can change this. If you like green, you want to use green at night, you've got green. And you can just scroll through all the different colors that you want to use. But whatever color you decide on, when you're done, we'll get back to red because that's what I'm going to keep it on. All right, we're on red. Turn her off. Access again. We're back on red. I'm good to go. I can shut my light off. And then I'm in red. But that's what you got, guys, for the X4. What do you think? I know there's a lot to think about on this light, but there's a lot out there on the market. There's a lot that's more expensive. There's some cheaper. Where do you think this light fits into the bill? It's not much bigger than a key fob. You know, if you're looking at it, you're looking at maybe 3/4 of an inch. I mean, as far as thickness, a key fob's, you know, thicker this way, and then they're about the same wide, you know, same width. Anyways, guys, do me a favor. Let me know what you think about the Wuben X4. What are your thoughts on it? Do you want to see me take it out? We can take it out, put it in the woods. We may do that later this evening. Add that to the tail end of this video.